Welcome to the Post Shift Podcast, your raw look at the hospitality industry, brought to you by SHC. What is happening, Post Shifters? Welcome back to another episode of the Post Shift Podcast. Of course, I'm your host, Shawn Soole. As you may know, if you've listened to the podcast long enough, I try and keep politics out of shit. Every now and then, something truly stupid happens. I think Skip the Dishes a couple of years ago, obviously lockdowns, all this sort of stuff. And I've had a few people ask me about my opinion on these tariffs that just came out. The tariffs that were imposed on Canada, and then also Canada's retaliation on pulling US products. Now, from what I have read, there's a couple on the East Coast. So LCBO, obviously one of the biggest alcohol purchasers in the world, have pulled US products off the shelves. I believe the SAQ has started pulling everything off the shelves. And BC did a very weird thing where they did only red state products, which seems a little flippy floppy because it's really hard to say. Like Kentucky I'm going to use bourbon because bourbon is one of my favorite spirits. Kentucky as a state is a red state, yes. But all the major, like Louisville and all the major cities that contribute to bourbon production are blue states. Believe it or not, blue municipalities or counties. Especially downtown Louisville. If you've ever been to Louisville, you'll see it straight away. It doesn't feel like what you would assume in the south of, not the south, you would assume in a red state. But what's my opinion on this? My opinion, I think, is without consultation on associations and the industry, why are we being made the whipping post again? Like, why are we the ones that have to take it on the chin? You know, while I understand consumers are massive purchasers from retail, bars and restaurants still need to function. You know, and what is putting the position in is that if you want to keep functioning, especially in a high-end cocktail bar, wine bar, beer bar, whatever, you're going to have to buy an excessive amount of stock to keep your programs and your organization going. So you're going to be investing money that chances are in January and February you don't have to spend, one. Two, there's only a certain amount of understanding a consumer when they go into your bar or restaurant is going to have on whether or not they can have an old fashioned with bourbon. Like, this is how crazy it's going to be. I feel that a lot of the governments are using the liquor side of things as more of a posturing move than an actual deliberate, thought through move. Take BC, for instance. If we run out of a product, we can still order for bars. LCBO, they're a completely government-run organization, so when it's off the shelf, it's off the shelf. You can't get it. So Toronto bars are going to be dry of bourbon very, very quickly. We can still order specs and whatnot that are in the warehouse until it runs out. And this opens up a whole different thing. Let's just talk about the supply chain when it comes to running out of stock on purpose because of retaliation for tariffs. It's not going to be a quick, we're going to flip on the tariffs again, or Justin Trudeau is going to talk to Donald Trump and like sort all this shit out, and then also it's going to be a quick flick and we're going to have a lot of product back. If we run out of stock, if this goes on for a couple of months and we run out of stock, then it will take another 3 months to come back into the market, to clear customs, to get listed, to be put back on the warehouse. If our government-run liquor brands want to keep doing it. So there's a real opportunity that we're going to face complete shortages worse than we did when we had the strike here in BC or during lockdown. And it's all in a time when our industry's already had a really fucking shit 12 to 18 months. Like some people, like bars and restaurants are closing. And now to add this sort of thing to it, I'm just really exhausted on having the hospitality industry as the government scapegoat. We were the scapegoats during the pandemic. We're the scapegoats whenever the unions want to sort of like strike within the government-run entities. We're always the ones that have to deal with the shit, and we're in an industry that shouldn't have to. Like, if we're really going to make an impact and like scare the Americans and Donald Trump into this sort of stuff, turn off the power we supply for 12 hours. I bet if you turned off this power we supply to the US for 12 hours, it would very, very, very quickly change the tone. Turn off the water we supply to the US. Let's see how quickly it changes the tone. Now, I get it. That's a very, very strong retaliation to these tariffs. But why? I feel like we're the ones being put over the knee and spanked because we're easy to like manipulate and control when it comes to supply chain issues. Now, all of this, I get a lot of brands and they're like, oh, you have to buy Canadian. Great. But that should already be in your head. That should already be in your back of your head. And I can walk the talk the talk, and walk the walk. Like, when I opened up Little Jumbo in 2013, we were one of the only restaurants in the province that had a full BC whiskey, a BC wine list. When I did BC Spirits, I was a champion for BC Craft Spirits. Like, I champion buy BC or buy Canadian. It should be something that is in your head. The problem is that a lot of people can't afford it. And just because you want to say buy BC, which is a fantastic thing that we should be doing, sometimes the price is prohibitive. And that's why we get US made stuff and so on and so forth. Buying BC, buying Canadian should always be in the front of the brain. And it's great that consumers are waking up to seeing groceries and drinks and that sort of thing for being Canadian made. 100% agree on that one. I just wish that as an industry, we weren't the ones that were pressured at every time. When it comes to tariffs, like, I think it should have been a market call, not a retaliation. Like, if the 25% tariff that's getting put on US goods coming into Canada, the market can make a decision whether or not they buy American-made products over Canadian-made products. That's what I would have hoped from this, and letting the market decide whether or not they support Canadian or continue buying American. Again, I don't want to get political, and I understand we've got to stand against this fucking idiot that is running the southern country below us. I understand all that. I just sometimes wish there was better ways than just putting the hospitality industry on the front line to take the brunt. But yeah, that's my 2 cents on tariffs. A few people wanted to listen to it. I'm really looking forward to any comments or feedback you want to give when it comes to how you see tariffs. So if you do, drop a comment on social media. But guys, thanks as always. I appreciate you. See you next week.
Thanks for listening, Pose Shifters. Well, I hope you enjoyed that episode. I really enjoy sitting down with friends and peers and just chatting about the industry and getting down to the nuts and bolts of what's really going on out there. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, everything on all the platforms. Just hit it up and I'll do my best to answer any queries or questions you have. I'll see you next week, guys. Bye.